Stucky, that's you?
Taking on all the players.
Yo, that shit is fucking worse than like regular.
You might want to sit on that bench. Won't you?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, from New Logical Sports, where we have a semi-final in the Long Island LISFL Premier Division between Leros and Port Jefferson. Just a couple minutes of delay as the two teams are checking in with the referees, getting the final touches and the final words from their respective coaching staff. Of course, this is a semi-final, like I said. The winner, of course, will play Irish Rovers, who finished first in the division, on next Sunday on June 11th in the big final in the Premier Division. Of course, the top three teams in the division play for the championship. Of course, the first team automatically makes it to the finals, and the second and third team, which we have on our cards today, Leros finished on 20 points and in second position, and Port Jefferson in third on 16 points. But as we know, a one-off game in this division can mean all the money. A team can easily finish third and win the championship on any given day, second and of course first, given that the quality in this particular knockout style match, all to play for, is of course increased, and the two teams will battle it out to see who will play on the 11th in the grand final against the Irish Rovers. The man in the middle today is Mr. Rojas, and just some last minute, just some slight delay, so stick with us of course for kickoff. Of course, given that this is a semi-final matchup, of course, if it does end tied after the 90 minutes, it will go straight to penalty kicks. So one moment of brilliance can be the difference, of course, in a semi-final matchup. But of course, then we would have the drama of the spot kicks, but a long way away.
No, he's got that set. I know you might have found somebody already, but if you want to chat, let me know.
I haven't seen him yet.
If you want to chat, let me know this weekend. I'll probably make it to Buffalo now for
Did you see me last night? Okay.
Live here, man.
I don't want to hear about it. Okay, stop the game, ref. I'm getting cold.
Ref, he said it. Ref, it's a forfeit.
Come on, ref. I'm getting cold. I want my refund. Billy, Billy.
Wait, somebody said they're good coffee?
So just, of course, stick with us. It's a little bit antsy to get the game started, but of course, everything has to be perfect for a game of this magnitude, as the referee just signaled for Port Jefferson to make their way onto the pitch as they're getting their last minute instructions from their coach.
How you guys doing? Good?
Billy.
It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
As now Port Jefferson are making their way onto the pitch, and the referees are getting in position. Of course, once again, the man in the middle, Mr. Rojas, with the ball in possession now and placing it on the center circle, as the match is with a slight delay, about 20 minutes delay, but
I know, but I like
I called it when I thought the first game they looked good.
as referee puts the whistle to the lips, and we're on their way here in College Point Fields, the big semifinal in the Long Island division. Leros, of course, in their classic blue kit, attacking from left to right, and Port Jefferson in possession now in their white strip, attacking from right to left. First possession
It's so high, you won't have to worry about it.
for Port Jefferson, back to their goalkeeper. And center back trying to knock it about a little bit here and get their first touches on the. Jaskalainen is through the middle for Leros. He's pressing the ball now, as well as Tomatos and Kaveci. Goalkeeper has to put his foot through it. Polonidis first to it. Second ball falls to Jaskalainen, and just they can't latch onto it. Ball popped in the air. Andreu was pressing. The second ball is contested once again by the center back, who made his way forward.
Cody, can you check what happened with the TST file?
Huh?
Can you check what happened with the TST file?
The what final?
Lucha.
Back it goes, and of course in a game of this importance, of this magnitude, really the first moments are probably just a little bit to feel out the opposition, to see formations and whatnot. From what it looks like, Leros have begun with 1/2 up top, with Jaskalainen and Kaveci just dropping in behind them. A very technical player, the number 3, can float about and cause havoc for sure, as the ball trickles out of play for Leros throw-in. Going to be taken by the right fullback, Andreu. Brian is an option ahead of him. Furthermore is Kaveci, but he elects to go back to the center back, Bambaran. Sobot hooks it forward, a little bit of a loose pass, but the center back partner is there to clean up the ensuing damage. And ball through the middle, and Peralta, Sergio Peralta, between the sticks for Leros, gets his first touch on the ball and plays it out to Sobot. Back it goes to Bambaran. Andreu is an option on the right. Brian flicks it around the corner to Polonidis. Polonidis' touch is just a little bit loose, a little bit of miscommunication. Here's Kaveci. Plays it infield to Jaskalainen. Jaskalainen trying to dance between two men. The second ball falls to Kaveci again. Brian on the right-hand side picks up his head and just wants to articulate the possession a little bit. Tries to go through him there and dispossessed. Polonidis and Andreu coming together to press. Bambaran, thick challenge, but the second ball is offside, is the call from the AR on the far hand side. Andreu will just quickly touch it to Sobot. Tomatos in the middle of midfield, the captain. Tomatos and Polonidis, the two linchpins of the Leros midfield. very versatile players, can play a multitude of positions. And the defensive back quartet that they have, or as we see here, the 2 6s. Ball across. Andreu is first to it. Quickly over to Kaveci, has some space. And Jääskeläinen is onside, but the pass from Kaveci never reached him, and back it goes to the Port Jefferson. Port Jefferson stopper plays it through the middle. A little dangerous, but good clever footwork there in the middle of midfield to bypass Kaveci. There's some space on this left-hand side if he can pick up his head. He finds his man, taking on Andreu. Slightly 1v1. Brian comes across, Bamburin is there, and Andreu is in possession. Brian picks up his head and finds Polonidis. Back to Brian. And infield it goes. Port Jefferson trying to construct really the first shot on anger in this match. No shots from either side have tested any of the 2 goalkeepers. Polonidis once again with the head, flicks it forward. Transition opportunity. Kaveci has some space ahead of him and a lot of green grass if he could reach it before the centre back, but the centre back did well and lengthens his stride and comes away with possession now and finds his midfielder, who just plays it to the open space. Of course, College Point, one of the biggest pitches in New York, so you really have to be, other than fit, you have to be clever with your movement and your positioning. A loose pass there. Kaveci tries to latch onto it. Heelan was the man that nicked possession there, but Kaveci quickly over to Heelan. And Puente back to Sobot. Furthermore to Bamburin, and the center backs exchange. Really both teams not installing a high press. Of course the big pitch is a theme here. You have to really know when to press and press constructively. The center back is making his way forward. Jääskeläinen, Kaveci try to exchange. Nicks it over to the center back, who straight offside, didn't touch the ball, but he made a movement towards it. Therefore the referee's flag is correctly risen.
Billy, did you share the match? Because it's like, did you share the link on Insta? Because it's like,
Really? I did. I'm like, no, I'm on my
Andreu's pressing. Brian just gets a toe on it. And now Leros can press a little bit if they elect to. Jääskeläinen is pressing, so too is Brian, but possession is filtered back to the goalkeeper, and Port Jefferson a little bit loose there, but once again clever footwork by the Port Jefferson number 2 is making his way forward. There he is again on the ball with the head up, has a man to his right. He finds him. Is an option. Bamburin first to it, Polonidis second. Brian over the top trying to find Heelan. Kaveci and Brian pressing together, and the second ball once again just doesn't fall to a blue kid, rather a white one. Andreu slides and gets a little nip on it, and well done by the right full back there, Andreu. And here is the captain, Thomatos, picks his head up and tries to find Jääskeläinen. Some space to work with, but never finds the winger as Brian got a foot on it, and Thomatos in possession. And just the centre back just asking for some calm, finding Andreu. Brian, Thomatos, 1-2. Thomatos can't get a toe on it. Opportunity for Port Jefferson. First shot comes in, and great handling, short handling by Peralta. Really the first shot in anger of this match. Good comfortable goalkeeping with most importantly no spillage by the Leros #1. And Brian over to Jääskeläinen, clever little turn, has some space ahead of him, has Heeland if he can find his run correctly. He can't, he knew it probably just a tick too quick from Jääskeläinen, and once again offside. Good distribution, finding the left full back.
Morales, we're here for you, man. My boy.
Clever little one to Adreu. Unlucky there, the second ball is not offside. Trying to take on Andreu. Across comes Bamburin and Tomatos. Good bit of agility there by Mr. Rojas, the man in the middle. Very good referee on this very important game, of course. Tomatos tries to just reach around the ball. Good little movement, a little marauding run. A little bit of slippage, but he survives the situation. Good little turn, an opportunity for the first goal. Shot comes in, and it's in from Port Jefferson. A great rasping effort that beat Peralta on the first post. They survived a little bit of a spill there on the top of it, of the 18, and a rocket on the first post beat Peralta. And the first goal of this match comes for Port Jefferson. Now let's see how Leros can riposte the early concession here. A lot of time to just tactically get things right. There was a couple words being exchanged between the, as we see here, the center back and Andreu. So a little Bolonidis can't. Bamburin is first, and Brian in possession. Heeland, Kaveci on his left, Jääskeläinen on his right, and he can't find the center forward. Just the lines have to be just constructed correctly. Here's Brian. Clever idea. Saw the goalkeeper slightly off his line. Tried it, but you don't win the raffle if you don't buy the ticket. Port Jefferson are just trying to play out of the back now. Of course, they have the lead, so they can, as much as they are willing and can, try to dictate the flow of the game. Good distribution from the goalkeeper. Little step over. There's a run to Andreu's left, but he does very well and with correct body shape intercepts and finds Bolonidis. Sobot back to his center back, Bamburin. Sobot's line splitting past the Jääskeläinen, and Heeland with some space ahead of him. On the left-hand side, there's Kaveci arriving late in the box, so to Jääskeläinen on the top of it, but he elects to go back to Puente. Puente and field Kaveci over the top to Heeland, who is onside. Just the bounce of the ball deceived the left winger, and trickles out a play for a Port Jefferson goal kick. backs just to step out, and he'll presumably put his foot through it. Really can't play too much out of the back. Has to be a aerial duel won by the captain Thomatos. Possibly landed on his man, who's just clutching his ankle or even fixing his footwear as Jääskeläinen once again is offside. A good line by Port Jefferson, a good forward it goes. Brian is coming over to press once again. Really free kick just behind, excuse me, the halfway line. Really most of their play is coming off this near hand side, the left for Port Jefferson. Polonidis gets a little toe on it. Andreu, no nonsense, out for a throw-in. Quickly taken. Brian is coming over to press, so to Kaveci. Still in possession are Port Jefferson. Andreu, no nonsense, and just puts his foot through it and asks his team just to raise their lines a little bit. Out to this forehand side. There's a late run, but dispossessed by Leros, and Healing, good little clever footwork to bypass his man. It's a 3-on-3 if they can be sharp and deliberate here. Here's Kaveci on the top of the box. Kaveci lays it off to Thomatos, the captain, slaloming, and just can't get a shot off. Andreu quickly tries to play it over to Brian. Just the weight of passes a little bit loose, and he wins his side a free kick. Well done by the right fullback just to get between man and ball and win his side a free kick, in which Kaveci will quickly take it and maybe just rushed it just a little bit there. Thomatos from his sixth position, pressing the goalkeeper. His wayward pass finds his teammate, and Brian has some space. Can he serve something in the box? He serves it. Jääskeläinen can't get a shot off. And has to be a sprint back because there's some space to work with. A little bit of a lucky touch there. There's the general of the Port Jefferson midfield, the number 2, once again spraying it out to the left-hand side. A wrong run was made there, and Bamburn will just, instead of shepherding it out of play, take the possession on his own. Brian, Kaveci. Infield to Jääskeläinen, excuse me, who had a little look over his shoulder. He saw his man was behind him and played it back to the center back. Ball over the top. Brian is onside. Brian has Andreu behind him if he can spot him. Wants to achieve the byline, but once again, good defending by the left fullback, who has been almost near perfect so far. As well as the man on the ball now. Sprays it out to the right-hand side, further forward. Trying to take up Puente on the 1v1. Goes across, good communication, and back to Peralta from Andreu. A little bit of a press there. He has to be careful there. Better safe than sorry, but his pass found. Brian, who slips and rips his opponent's shirt. An opportunity for Port Jefferson. Bamburn was once again there. Polonidis is pressing. Clever little turn. And just wants to play it back to just possess a little bit. Everyone bar one behind the ball for Leros. Puente back to Kaveci. There's some space to work with. It's going to be a theme of the match. His quick transition is vital for both sides. Here's Jääskeläinen cutting infield. Kaveci for 1-1. Kaveci makes no mistake. 1-1. Clinical transition from Leros. And immaculate finish by the lefty who made no mistake with it, and Leros draw level. A great bit of transition there from the Greek side, and a clinical finish by the number 3. 1-1 here. A good answer by Leros, who found themselves trailing, but with that goal have just re-entered the mood of the match. But they have to be careful here. Peralta was off his line, but similarly to Brian previously, the shot from 30-40 yards, the idea was good, but the execution not so much. Some space to work with from service. It's wildly mishit and out of play and beyond the fence as well. And back in play for Sobot to Bambarin. Tomatos. And back to Peralta, has center backs position to accept the ball and to break some lines. Here is the first line splitting pass, but once again the center back from Port Jefferson coming out to press. Some space ahead of Puente, but an overhit pass. But in the same sense now, Leros could just raise their lines a little bit and press Port Jefferson. Puente, Bolonidis and Kaveci exchanging the 1-2. Possibly a lunge there by Bolonidis. Port Jefferson want to play quick and with urgency, in which they do. Leros has to get back rather urgently. There's some space ahead of him, and Adreu standing his man up and does well. Leros are preparing a substitution. Next that ball, but a free kick was given. Let's see who will come off for Leros. Probably changes from both sides now. Number 14, Sully, is checking in for Bolonidis. So some fresh legs in the middle of midfield. And double substitution for Port Jefferson, but more so urgently is this free kick that Leros side have to defend. Brian possibly wasn't 10 yards, but launched forward. Bambarin can't get the first contact on it, and then second ball trickles out for a throw, corner kick, excuse me. There was some bodies there, but the last touch came off Leros' head. Taken with in-swing to the second post. The heads go up and just comfortably to Peralta, who tries to distribute quick. kind of slices at it gently. There was a little 1v1 opportunity for Jääskeläinen to run in behind. They just needed a little bit of a cleaner, more contact from Peralta. And back it goes to slip there. And Sully, his first touches. Adreu. Back to Bamburn and Sobot. Puente just constructs his feet correctly and plays it back to Sobot. For the time being, Port Jefferson were playing with 10. Just maybe a little bit of a wardrobe, possibly an earring that the referee spotted. But we're back to full strength now. And Thomatos and Jääskeläinen. Thomatos has to lengthen the stride, but the center back is there first. And the second ball is falling, possibly offside. Correctly seen by the referee. And once again, urgently, every restart seems to be urgent from both sides. And a corner kick. Another substitution here for Leros. Brian will corner kick. Whipped in by Kaveci. Hooked away and back towards Peralta. Sully in possession. Tries to find Bamburn, who's playing a center forward for the time being, but make his way back. The newly introduced substitute who is pressing the ball now, number 17, Sean, replaced Brian on the right-hand side. So some fresh legs in the middle of midfield and off the right for Leros. Flicked it around in possession. Great crossfield ball. But Puente was first to hook it forwards. Heelan is pressing. A little bit loose. And luckily so. But the second ball finds Kaveci, who has some space ahead of him. Referee's flag is down. Kaveci on the right foot. Kaveci squares it. Here's a substitute. Almost an immediate impact from Sean, who rattled the post. Almost. With his first touches almost. Made it 2-1. They have to be careful now here. Once again, the transition is all the money in this big pitch. Of course, if you want to do it urgently, you have to get back, transition, and at the same time you have to go about your attacking transition in a swift manner, but of course with a good finish. Here's an opportunity for Port Jefferson, squared, and Sobot got a boot to it. Corner kick for Port Jefferson. From the far hand side. Going to be taken with in whip. The hand goes up. The service comes in. Only one head went up. That's Bamburn. A loose shot that turned out to be a cross. Trying to swivel his way in the box. A little bit of slippage. Jääskeläinen is asking for the ball, and Thomatos pressing, standing up his man. Port Jefferson trying it from the right-hand side. A little nibble by Thomatos. Puente stands up his man. Just want to go furthermore back of communication to let the center back know that there was a man on. And just trying to articulate a little bit of possession. Andreu with the chest. Turned out to be a sweet little pass, but Sean is battling away. Sean, great first touch. He's making his way forward, has Andreu behind him. If he could spot him, he served it. The second ball finds Kaveci. Kaveci tries to get it on the magical left foot, but he can't beat his man. But the possession has to be controlled here correctly, and indeed it does by Sobot. Finds Puente, exchanging with the captain. Loses it, but gets a little toe on it, but it falls to a Port Jefferson boot around Sully. Bambarin, a thick challenge in the first and a loose second one, and the free kick. Possibly the right thing to do there. Got a little bit unlucky with the first challenge that was clean. And the second one was whistled for a free kick. Gets around Puente, falls over. Bambarin first. Once again, similar transition opportunity. Clever little flick. He's probably onside with the goalkeeper with good starting position and a good pass out to his fullback who came infield to help out his goalkeeper. Always that pass was just looking that it was going to be a little bit too thick, and the goalkeeper was correctly positioned. So both the second curling attempt is wide. Good little bit of ingenuity there to take it first time to just to curl it around the post, but just a couple feet above Peralta's post. 1-1 here in the LISFL semi-final. Port Jefferson and Leros, of course, the winner takes on the Irish Rovers next week on the 11th in the final for this Long Island Premier Division. Handball given there by the referee.
Right? Sure. They call it. Second place. Listen, for me, we were finalists this year, State Cup. Young team against the Pacifics. 0-0. Clean sheet. The game plan worked. 0-0.
Kaveci wins inside a throw-in. Kaveci with the thigh. Sully is pressing. Well done there by Sully. So Sully and Thomatos now in the middle of midfield. The latter sprays it to the left-hand side to the fullback. Puente infield to Heeland. Thomatos back to Sobot. Just moments like this, just lost it in the first and won it clean in the second. Sully.
You know, you make a tunnel, you do it nice. But I'm happy for my team. If it's an average age 21.
Bambarin, of the two center backs, he's probably the one just to gain some meters and explore. Lovely little outside of the boot pass to Puente. Has to pick up his head and find some correct service. Kaveci lays it off to Andreu. Andreu with the chest. Opportunity for Andreu. A little bit of spillage there, loose. And they get away with it in the end. Andreu took it well off the chest and hit it maybe just a slight moment too quick, but the goalkeeper parried, but they survived the matter. And Thomatos, Jaskalainen turns. Jaskalainen from distance! Great opportunity for Leros to jump ahead here. Going to have another substitution, some more fresh legs for Port Jefferson, and a nice little hand slap there from the coach to his player. Of course, forgot to mention that the subs are free in this division. You can sub in and out, so very important to have have the fresh legs and fresh ideas. Tomatos just tries to lunge and accept the ball. Crossfield ball. The wind is probably gonna just see it only falling to Andreu's head, who cushions it delicately to Peralta and Sobot. Sobot back to his goalkeeper. There's really nobody pressing him, so he can do exactly that and play a line splitting pass to Heeland, who wins a free kick smartly. And we'll just leave it. Now is probably not the moment to play quick. Sully with some room. Jääskeläinen over to Sean. Sean making his way forward. Goalkeeper probably can't pick that up because that was a deliberate back pass. Andreu, Jääskeläinen exchanging. Andreu from distance, good idea. And over. Twice in the last 5 minutes, Andreu has made his way forward from the right full back position and tried it from, this time, distance. And in the first, forced a decent save from the goalkeeper. Over it goes. Some room to work with. Sully is pressing. Bambarin is over. Tomatos is over as well. But the possession falls to the foot of Port Jefferson player, who actually doesn't have a number on the back of his kit, but here's back it goes. Over it goes. Puente trying to stand up his man. There's some space to work with. Puente does immaculately well, and Sully plays it back to Peralta, who tries to find something quickly. Dangerous now. Almost a catastrophe there. And the hand of apology is up right away. They got away with it in the end. The Ziadia was probably right just to play something quickly, but he didn't get a firm contact on it and gave an opportunity for a quick shot on target there, but that was just a couple of feet beyond the post. So we remain at 1-1, deadlocked here at College Point Fields. Tomatos and Puente. Cavechi, the scorer of the goal for Leros. His pass is wide and out of play. Outside of the boot, pass forwards. An overlap from the left full back. Andreu spots him, but he presses the ball, but Bambarin is there first. Picks up his head and kind of caught in the corner there and just does the right thing and puts his foot through it. Sean is pressing, and superbly well by the number 17, Tomatos. Tries to just clip it forward just to relieve a little bit of the pressure. Some space in the middle again. The number 2 once again is orchestrating. And some space, a cut back, and Sobot was there, positioned smartly. There was a open man behind them, but the center back cleared it, but it comes back. Port Jefferson. Heeland is pressing. You can see how many feet differences when the lines aren't constructed correctly. So a lot of space to work with, of course, on this very, very big pitch. It looks, I can assume, much bigger when you're playing and running in it. Of course, the tired legs can be a pivotal factor. Once again, Sobot positioned well. And Sean with the chest plays it to Sully. Sully around the corner. Can't find Cavechi, who just stopped his run. Leros are preparing a substitution. Sobot will, with no pressure at all, just turn and look upfield. Finds Bambarin. There's once again no press really in these areas. Kaveci tries to leave it. Bambarin slips over. There's some space if he can be spotted. Bambarin makes his way over so to Andreu, but the line was once again constructed swiftly. And the substitution for Leros at left full back. Puente has come off the far side. Sobot to Bambarin. Kaveci tries to flick it to Andreu, but nobody was there. Kaveci. There's a good little flick of their own. No free kick. Possibly some advantage given. Sully first to it. There's a cluster of bodies there, but here's Jääskeläinen. He really has nobody in support. Sean is busting a gut to get in position, and Kaveci behind. Kaveci has Andreu with some space to work with. An opportunity for Leros. Kaveci still. Clever little idea. There was a late third man run by Tomatos, but the spin of the ball deceived the captain. Little bit of slippage there, but finds his man. Jinx in field, the score of the goal for Port Jefferson. There's a 1 and not the 2, but it's bouncing dangerously. Once again, Andreu, smart defending, just feeling the contact and falling over. Free kick for Leros. Peralta to take, and tries to find Jääskeläinen, who flicks it over. Eland is onside. The goalkeeper just elected to play out with the foot. There was on the verge of entering the box or not, so just elected to play with the left foot. Ball over the top, dangerous little ball over the top. Sobot is chasing, and offside. It looked tight, but the referee's AR flag was risen.
From the middle.
It's a substitution from so Hieland possibly just had a slight issue. He has to come off, but I presume he's gonna re-enter. Papa So took his spot on the left wing. Andreu, a little bit of in an orthodox manner, but it found its way to Bambarin, who played it back to Peralta. Peralta will play it back to Bambarin. Clips it forward to Jääskeläinen, puts the head down and lengthens his stride, tries to press the ball. Will it run out of pitch? No, but another loose clearance. Here he saw his first touch with the head, tries to find Tomatos, but it finds Jääskeläinen. Here's the captain, little dink over the top, but once again the center back position correctly just to get the first contact before his opponent. Bamburn once again. And Sully. Jeska Leinen can't find it, and Kaveci a little bit loose. Good press. Let's see which way, if any. The ball never went out of play. Really, there's a lot of space on this far hand side. They're stretching the field and playing to this. As halftime here, Leros were trailing 1-0 after a very nice finish, and responded swiftly with a good goal of their own from a nice little counterattack, good transition, and a clinical finish by Kaveci. 1-1 here in the LISFL semifinal. Stay tuned for the second half. Welcome back. As the second half is about to kick off. Remind you, first half Port Jefferson took the lead, and Leros' riposte was swift. 1-1 at halftime, with 45 minutes of very, very important ball to be played. Both sides, we've seen that they can test one another, almost like a slight chess match in the first half, but a very, very impressive one at that, with some moments of quality by both sides as Jefferson and Kita kicks us off in the second half. A change at left full back that we mentioned in the first half. Lani replaced Puente. As the first attack in the second half comes from Leros. Sean wins aside a throw-in. We just got, of course, confirmation at halftime. If this game does end a tie, it will go straight to the lottery from the 12 paces, the penalty kicks. But of course, 45 minutes to decide that, as Leros gets the first corner kick of this second half. Sobot and Bamburn going up. Everyone behind the ball and defensive structure for Port Jefferson. They dealt with it in the first action. Solly back to Kaveci, who whipped in the corner. Kaveci's first touch is a little bit loose, and the two goal scorers dueling there. Solly around the corner. Referee's flag is down. An opportunity for Port Jefferson, who, from what I've seen, have made a couple substitutions at halftime. More fresh legs and more ideas. And Lani. So, who replaced Healand, who's, from what I see, still not here, or just as I mentioned that, he is walking back towards the bench now. Here's the goal scorers. Stood up by Andreu, and Sobot just puts his foot through it. And Sobot gets across well and shepherds its man out of play for a Peralta goal kick. Let's see if Healand will re-enter. He just must be a little bit of a problem that was dealt with, and seems okay to me. Just going through some stretching now. And Peralta will just take his time and put his foot through it. There's some breezy wind here, so maybe better safe to just put the foot through it. And there goes the second ball to Sean. Andreu forwards to Jefferson, is beaten to it. Sully is pressing. Port Jefferson are playing with 3 in midfield, so not two are Leros, who are playing with 2, so a little bit there. Free kick, dangerous position, and the first yellow card of the match brandished by Mr. Rojas. A very dangerous location for a free kick, as Tomatos, the captain, going to have a word. Whipped into the second post, heads go up, the dangerous opportunity, and just a couple inches above the forehand post there. He was free as a bird on the second post and tried to direct his header with a rather loop instead of a downward type, and Leros get away with it, and Kaveci sprays it over to Lani. Lani has So ahead of him with a lot of space to work with. Here is So, who we really haven't seen in a 1v1 yet, but and it goes to Kaveci. Kaveci bypasses the referee as well, but play will stop as the referee's flag is risen. Quickly taken. Mr. Rojas wants it to be taken again. Forward it goes. Bamburn is just touching it back to Peralta. Peralta puts his foot through it and can't find So, but Sobot finds the seconds and pumped forward. Jääskeläinen is probably onside. Didn't want to dual aerial either with the center back. Andreu does so and wins it. Sean is pressing, and so to Kaveci on this far hand side, which Port Jefferson's really most of their play and their successful forays forward has been from the left in the first half, and here we are in the second. They're trying to articulate something from said side, but back it goes to the center back, and so with a little bit of slip, of course. This pitch is just, you have to possibly wear the right footwork. And free kick judged on the Sobot. Clip to the second, and Andreu didn't get a touch on it, so goal kick once again for Peralta. The bench is just discussing possibly the next move, the next Peralta once again just pushing everyone forward and get good purchase on this. Jääskeläinen wins the first one. Sean with some space ahead of him. If he could bypass his man, he does so. Sean stumbling slightly. Sean in the box for two. So unbelievably, I don't exactly understand he slipped and kind of ran into the post, and the ball fell behind him. An incredible opportunity for Leros. More so now, we have to see if So is okay. As he clattered into the post, he stretched everything he had, possibly even maybe guarding a little bit because he knew it was going to clatter into the post, but the ball somehow ricocheted between his feet and almost on the line there. Incredible moment for Leros. He's luckily okay and up and about. But the best moment of the second half bypasses Leros, and Mr. Rojas will just drop the ball to the goalkeeper, who pumps it forward. Bamburn first, as we're going to have a substitution for Leros. The next dead ball, the danger man is marauding his way forward, dropping it back. An opportunity for a strike, but Sully was there and got a nice block on it. Andreu. It's going to be Heelan to re-enter, refreshed and energized. Let's see who he will replace, but more so here is Lani. And So seems to be okay after clattering into the post. So has some time to make up for his previous miss. Can he be clinical here? Yes, he can. You know what they say, if you don't succeed, try and try again. An immaculate finish, precision with speed, with venom, and with a delightful end product by Sully, with a bright smile on his face, and almost can laugh off the previous moment and this clinical bit of finishing, giving Leros a much needed 2-1 win, as Sully was replaced by Heelan, and we're going to have a change at left full back in Puente, coming in for Lani, who seems to possibly maybe just pulled his hamstring. But the important thing is that Leros, maybe it's a little bit of cramp. Let's see, it's next to us just. But Leros in the lead. A turnaround from them, trailing 1-0. Equalized through Kaveci, and so made it 2-1. After an incredible moment previously, but he got up and shook it off and was deadly in his finish. Back it goes to the goalkeeper. They're asking for some press. Heeland, who we said probably is refreshed now, and there's some space as the left full back, Tomatos, who's probably covered the most ground today, the captain, flicked around the corner. A little bit of a stumble, but he survives it. There's 1 and 2 in the box, but only finds Sobot's head. Tomatos' head finds Heeland with some space to work with. Has Kaveci to his left. Jääskeläinen through the middle. He elects for Kaveci. Can the ball get there? Lucky little ricochet. And now Port Jefferson in possession. The two real danger men for their sake. And yes, referee's flag is risen. Andreu just exchanging a hand slap with Bambarin, as the number 51 just strayed a couple lengths beyond Andreu and Bambarin's and Sobot's line on that occasion. A good finish, but 4-0 as Bambarin slips it over to Jääskeläinen, who's dispossessed a little bit easily.
If somehow you guys got delayed like 15 minutes, I could
Andreu, and Bambarin puts his foot through it. Jääskeläinen, good link-up play. Kaveci has some space. If Sean can find them, but Sean sprinting over to press the goalkeeper, and Heeland as well. Really a two-man press there, but that's no problem for the time being. Jääskeläinen comes over to press as well, but Port Jefferson get away with it and can foray forward now. There's some space on this near hand side if a crossfield ball is delivered as such. And some space to work with in the 1v1. Puente has to stand up his man. There's an overlap. He goes infield. Sobot is standing his man up. Puente as well, a little handsy, but a big bravo from the bench for their captain. But a corner kick for Port Jefferson. Once again, from a lefty. Served in to the second post. Peralta gets a knuckle on it. And from the other side now. Andreu comes over just to make sure that there's no quick little combination. He played it quick, but 30 yards out, a rasping effort. Really good connection, but from 30 yards out, it has to be something magnificent to beat Peralta. Just again, Peralta wants his center backs to push up, and will put his foot through it. Trying to find Puente, who wins the first one, but the second one Puente to Healing, flicks it around the corner. Tomatos, who has probably covered every blade of grass. Look where he is now, pressing the goalkeeper. Really a testament to the captain's fitness, as Leros are preparing a substitution, but they have to deal with this situation first. The danger man is running at Adreu and tries to find his centre forward, who made a run beyond Sobot, but the ball only found Sobot's left boot. And Puente over to Helian, has a little look, has Jääskeläinen's movement, has Sean ahead of him, has Tomatos, who finds Sean. Good little reverse ball, referee's flag is down. Can Sean serve something? Unfortunately, he can't wrap the foot around it. And we're going to have a substitution for Leros, number 12, Brian. Will take Sean's place. Some more fresh legs on the wing. Sean just stands up his man. Tomatos is going over to press. They will filter the possession backwards. Over it goes. And the goal scorer was there just to knock it away in a no-nonsense fashion. Can't really be dwindling on the ball there and trying to play out in your own six. Better to defend the set piece with organization and construction. Let's see if Port Jefferson will just play something short or once again deliver it within whip. It's the latter. It's served. The heads go up, dangerous, and it's knocking around and it's in. Great service and a towering header. 2-2. Port Jefferson punch back. He rose above everyone there, the center back, and slammed his header in, beating Peralta. 2-2. And another substitution here for Leros. Let's see who will come off. Just a little bit of a possibly something that they spotted on that left-hand side that we were talking about. So it's going to be Bamber at right full back, Tomatos dropping in from the 6 to the center back, and Poloniadis staying next to from what it looks like in the 6. So a little bit of reconstruction for Leros. 2-2 now, and an opportunity for a third, and possibly on his right foot. It was good footed in that moment, but he just lashed his effort wide. So very, very enticing ending. Still lots of time. There's the newly introduced substitute in the second half, Nyadis, who started the game, and Port Jefferson looking for the third. An opportunity for a shot, comes over and once again high and wide.
Yo, Pat, what minute is it? It is the 65. 65? Wow.
65th minute.
Thank you.
as we just got the confirmation here. So loads of time left, 25 plus whatever the referee wants to add on, if any. Of course, we remind you now again that if the match ends in a tie, as we're deadlocked at 2 here, as the center back who made it 2-2 is also very diligent in his defensive work. If this game ends in a tie, we'll go straight to penalty kicks. So, and Jääskeläinen really just dueling, trying to latch onto some things and connect the play on Liadis is Polianidis, great sliding tackle.
Heads up, Andre, to your left.
Really, the big pitch is playing a factor, and we will see it definitely in the next 20 or so minutes. If you can stretch the field in one diagonal, can be all the money. A shot comes in, Peralta sees it all the way and was comfortable in his geometry of his far post. More slight tactical innovations by the Leros coaching staff.
Let's get it, come on.
Just
Let's win it.
Kaveci first, Port Jefferson second, Polonivis hooking it, winning the first ball and pumping the second one forward to Heeland with the chest, rather shoulder chest, and the goal scorer of the second goal for Leros, who was indeed dropped to the 6 for Matos. Heeland over the top as Puente to his left if you can see him, if he can turn his body first off, but he was pressed well. Here's Papaso over the top, clever little movement to Jääskeläinen, who's in. Jääskeläinen jinking on the right foot, and the second middle dribble couldn't bypass his man. Once again, the ever Sobot. Infield, little look over the shoulder to see what's around them by Heeland. And, a substitution for Port Jefferson. Really one of their most dangerous threats. Has just left the pitch, possibly just for some refreshment and to gain some power for the last knockings of this match. Sobot is marauding forward. Here's Thomatos, who now has definitely covered every blade of grass that he started at the 6, but his pass is loose. Wasn't out, and Heeland is marauding, is stumbling. Let's see where the geometry of the situation was. Just outside the box, and referee brandishes a yellow card. For me, the right call, as the contact was before and just right outside the box. Be Jääskeläinen with the right or Kaveci with the left. It obviously favors the right footer, but Kaveci stood over it, maybe even for a cutback he gets away with it. Jääskeläinen wild and over the top. And Port Jefferson trying to play out of the back. Once again, a similar crossfield diagonal with a stretch. Infield it goes. Polonidis is coming to press. Polonidis possibly got a shout by Sobot. Sobot as well to find Bambryn, who's, like we mentioned, slotted it at right full back. He's making his way forward. Trying to find Jääskeläinen. His first contact can't find Kovechi. And back it goes to Tomatos, who has just to be a little bit careful there and does it beautifully well. Kovechi. Heelan with some space. Heelan, Jenks, and back to Puente. So Kovechi. So is onside. Just ran out of pitch, and a goal kick for Port Jefferson. Get away with it, and Tomatos is first. Jääskeläinen is up aerially. Kovechi with the chest lays it off to So, who's lunging and stretching. Heelan does well with the body, rolls his man. Can he finish? Great save. Huge opportunity for Leros to jump back in front. And shouts of get back, and they have to be, like we mentioned, swift in the transition. They were on this instance.
Heads up out wide, Andre.
Brian is carrying it, finding So, and back to Puente, Sobot. Brian over to Bambryn, and back to the captain Tomatos, who exchanges with Brian. Clips it over the top to Jääskeläinen, who's onside, fighting off his man. The lanky center forward is trying to press, and he does sufficiently well enough, but the ball doesn't luckily run out of pitch. And, of course, Polonidis gets a little nibble, but he's unlucky there. He's hustling his way back.
Don't bite, Andre. On him.
Really no pressure on the ball, just stood up his man. Knew that pretty far from goal there.
Yes, Mati.
Some possession now for Port Jefferson, just to try and construct something of their own. Really, the next goal, if any, would be a real gut punch in this back and forth game. Both teams led. As Port Jefferson opened the scoring, Jääskeläinen can wrap it around the corner to Heelan, and Leros jump back in the lead for only to be. Let's just see what this situation deals with. And Polonidis' clearance was rather close to the post. And Port Jefferson equalized with a thumping header from a set piece, in which they have another one now. This one without swing, a loaded box. Everyone behind to defend. Served in delicately, the heads go up, it's dangerous, and free kick spotted by the referee. Peralta once again just not risking it by playing out of the back. Just wants to get the lines further forward, trying to find So, but Puente has the rod back. He fades 1, 2. He's surviving his challenges. He's still in possession now somehow. An overlap on the left-hand side. The weight of passes behind him, but he assorts his feet correctly, serves it in. Puente has to be sharp and does just enough. Second balls was the cry. Here's the first, and the second one is not contested as it goes back to Sobot's possession. Will serve it flat to nobody in particular. Trying to flick it around the corner. Tomatos once again diligent in his defensive work. Bambarin has Brian ahead of him and Kaveci to the side of him. He elects for Kaveci, the lefty, trying to reverse it into Healand. Trying to take his man on a couple step overs, finds the byline. Can he serve something nice? He can. Ricochets, it's pinballing around. And they get away with it again, Port Jefferson. A couple of very, very good opportunities for Leros to make it 3. But Port Jefferson now in possession. Will run into the channel. But he likes to Sobot, smart, and with a thumbs up to Mr. Rojas, who we have to say has been perfect so far. His positioning was 6-7 meters away to assess the free kick for the blue persuasion, and Sobot will take it and just touch it back to Peralta, as Sean will probably be the next substitution. Teams slowly have to maybe begin to think about the spot kicks, but here's Brian. Let's see if they can change that, but the ricochet finds the awaiting arms of the Port Jefferson number 1, who we have to say made a really smart save on Heelan's little curling attempt. Blocked it with possibly the foot or the thigh, and prevented the third and possibly most decisive goal, Polonidis. Marauding little run by the midfielder. Can he find some service? He can. He finds Kaveci. Kaveci puts it onto the right foot. Finds So. He slips, unfortunately. And at the vital moment, just lost the footwork and the footwear and slipped, and his effort skied over. So we're going to have another substitution. Let's see how they will reconstruct now, as Sean will re-enter. And let's just see who will play next to So at the 6. It's probably going to be Heeland and Sean on the wing, but let's see this attack first for Port Jefferson. Kaveci. Here is Sean with some fresh legs and impetus. Sean just runs too much with it, and goalkeeper now, as we mentioned before, look how stretched the pitch is, look how much green grass there is between the lines. It goes over the top Peralta, and smart starting position from Peralta. As Port Jefferson are also preparing a substitution on the next head ball, as ball sprayed out to Bambarin. Tomatos. It's Puente if he can spot him, but he tries to find Jääskeläinen, who's onside. Jääskeläinen's onside. Can he make it 3? Can it be a deadly finish? Jääskeläinen is beaten once again by the goalkeeper with another very, very important save, spreading himself and blocking, hockey style block there. Doesn't matter what you save it with as long as it doesn't go into the back of the net. Another massive opportunity. Their third, really, after the score has been 2-2. Long, sharp throw there. So a plethora of chances for Leros to grab the third and possibly the game in a...
10 minutes left.
So we just got word here, there's 10 minutes left. So the last 10 minutes, opportunity probably offside. Yes, indeed. The shot nonetheless was wayward. So possibly we'll even restart with a goal kick, same positioning, possibly a couple meters behind. So the referee just had a quick word. 10 minutes left, 10 minutes away from spot kicks. Peralta again thumping it forward. Kaveci doesn't duel for the first one. Kaveci flicks, never reaches Jaskalainen. Heeland, who's playing the 6 now. Good little piece of footwork there. Has Sean ahead of him. The weight of passes immaculate. Sean has to pick up his head. Finds Jaskalainen. Jaskalainen, there it is! That's the one for Leros. What a goal, in what a time, in what a place. Jaskalainen, who just previous to so before missed a good opportunity but was clinical with his second. And Leros jump back ahead. Now with under 10 minutes to go, let's see if they can hold on to their lead, and a back and forth type of game. And Jaskalainen, all the money was the weight of pass to Sean, who served it on a platter for Jaskalainen just to caress the ball gently into the net. And 3-2, under 10 minutes to go, and Sean with clearly something left in the legs. Not on that instance. Now Leros has to be just smart, win a couple free kicks, win some throw-ins and whatnot, and at the same time have to defend correctly. Puente, Brian is coming over a little bit handsy there, but not enough for a penalty kick. Mr. Rojas once again on the spot. Just more this probably will just trickle out.
Mark up! Right behind you, Papa!
Launched over, So bought his first. Brian has a little look, there's a man on. He finds So. So really a fourth goal would be game, set, and match, and in turn final for Leros. But Jaskalainen can't latch onto it. Really now, Port Jefferson has to throw everything they have in search for the equalizer. Maybe at the same time be a little bit loose at the back, but 3-2, 4-2 doesn't really matter. In the knockout game, here it is. And Peralta cleverly just drops just to kill a couple more seconds. Good purchase on the shot, but right down the goalkeeper's throat. Sobot tries to flick it around the corner, he does. And Jaskalainen unluckily. Just some cajoling now and some words just to get them over the line, possibly. Kaveci seems a little gassed. Kaveci and Jaskalainen haven't stopped running the whole game. Bambryn, beautiful interception. Has some green grass ahead of him. Or if he wants to win a free kick, that'll be ideal for Leros. Does he? Yes, he does. Exactly what Leros needed. An athletic run and a bit of ingenuity there just to win a free kick and just slowly eat up these last minutes for Leros. And another substitution for Leros. Olianidis will re-enter for Healand, who has shifted, possibly feeling a little bit of cramp now. Of course, very difficult to play on a pitch of this size and of this stress level in this semi-final. Of course, we remind you the winner takes on Irish Rovers next weekend in the final. This Long Island LISFL Premier Division. Let's see if Bambryn once again, a very good defensive showing by Bambryn, Tomatos and company, Sobot as well. And they're almost over the line. Poloniadis wins his side, a throw in smartly to the bamboozlement of Port Jefferson player, and Tomatos with a calm, experienced head will just take his time and serve it down the line. Jeskalainen is up, flicks it around the corner. Here is Sean, who has made a difference upon re-entering. A fourth goal would be game and possibly final. Jeskalainen has Brian with some space on the left, but he wants to go back to Sean. Sean will just possess it. That's clearly what Leros need, a little bit of possession now. So trying to win something, maybe a little throw-in-er. There's a little tug of the shirt, but he finds the byline immaculately well. So picks up his head and skewed away. Puente will possibly do the right thing and wins possession. Brian comes across. Brian tries to find the byline as well. He does find it. Can he serve it? He does. Once again, the goalkeeper is really saved the side on a numerous amount of instances here in the second half. A very good showing, but there's some space to work with. They have to get back. They have to give everything and return. Tomatos stands up his man. There's a man on the top of the box, but it only finds Kaveci, who made his way back from his 10 position. Papa. So with some space, Brian finds Puente. Puente unlucky, but that won't. Some stressful moments in the end here. The lines have to be Bambryn, the two danger men. Stands up his man. Bambryn lunges. He's coming away and assured handling, no spillage, and possibly, why not, a little kiss on the ball there as it fell beautifully into his grasp. Puts it down and just puts his foot through it. Jeskalainen has to win the first one. He does. Kaveci searching for the second. Jeskalainen, a little bit of head tennis there. And Jeskalainen, 2 minutes left, they say. 120 seconds from the championship game. The Polonidis free kick. They have to defend. Have to get back and defend with immaculate care. Now everyone bar the goalie is up for Port Jefferson. The service comes in, it's flat, it's looping around. What a save! And can he survive it? Sobot is there, it's still in there, and it falls comfortably to Peralta. A beautiful save by Peralta. It's somehow trickled behind his back. Let's see what the referee gave.
No way that's a penalty. There's no way.
Red!
I think he gave a penalty. That is
No way, Red!
incredible. I'm not sure who. I see that Peralta was laid on his back and the referee gave a penalty. I'm not sure, maybe even the AR came over to have a word. I'm not sure where the contact was exactly, but with seconds left, they have a moment to draw it level again. Melodrama here. Stepping up Peralta. Has to be huge and gets a finger on it, and 3-3.
How is that a penalty? What are you looking at?
So possibly from one penalty,
Last week
we will go to the penalties now, as that was the last action of the game.
Landsman, what did you say there? How's that a penalty?
Come on, can they just do a real quick?
In order to give a PK there, you have to be 100%.
So stay tuned for the penalty kicks now. From one penalty we will go to many. 3-3, the last kick of the game. And just stay tuned now for penalties. They're just gonna get some refreshment. Stay with us, of course, here for the penalty shootout. They're obviously dejected as the last kick of the game was for 3-3, but they can still win it. Tomato's going over for the coin toss. Really, more so for who kicks first.
He's in, he's out. Who was in, he's out. We got Jefferson. I gave him my jacket on purpose. Like, who was late school? That's great. What did you say? No, I'm saying, I'm just asking.
Even a wry smile from Tomatos. For sure, definitely inquiring about the penalty. From what I gather, Leros will probably shoot first. Peralta, who has to be said, possibly got even a fingertip on it. And at the same time, poor Jefferson, goalkeeper, has had a splendid match, so I'm sure his belief is high.
He's also saying that he got a foul. So I'm going to see it later. We have it on tape.
It's going to be on the same goal that the last penalty was taken. gonna be Kaveci first up. Majide, scorer of one of Leros's 3 goals. Sal Kaveci with the first spot kick for Leros. Referee's whistle. Kaveci, immaculate finish. An incredible penalty. 1-0 to Leros in this penalty shootout. And a nice little hand slap between 2 very good players. A lefty followed by the lefty that elected the left side. A little bit of mind games now for sure. Peralta. Take 2. The same. And yes, that is a great save. He chose the same side as the first side. Peralta with a very good save. Good height on it. And he couldn't make it 2 for 2. So Thomatos up next for the second spot kick for Leros. The captain who has covered every blade of grass for his side. Started at the 6, went to center back, and now has a spot kick. Captain steps up, and a great save there with the foot. And a nice moment there. A hand slap. So we remain at 1-0. He saved it with his toe. Tomatos went down the middle. Goalkeeper elected aside, and so we remain at 1-0. Can Sergio Peralta do it again? Great penalty. I will say the 2 penalties that have gone in have been unsavable. Side netting, and so will step up for Leros now. Again, another score of one of the Leros' 3 on the day. So steps up, right-footed, saved by the goalkeeper. Again, with a good save, denying so. And we remain at 1-1. But of course, Leros have taken their first. So this is Port Jefferson's 3rd. For an advantage in the spot kicks. He steps up. And sending the goalkeeper the wrong way. 2-1 for Port Jeff. It's going to be Bambarin to step up. A must for Leros. This spot kick. Crucial. Bambarin slowly making his way. Bambarin steps up, right-footed, down the middle. They needed that. 2-2. There's 4. One more. No. Yeah, one more. So the 4th. If he makes and Leros miss, as the referee just wants to put it just One slight
Good job, ref. Thank you.
a must for Peralta.
Thank you.
Straight run up.
Good job.
Right-footed. No mistake. And Jääskeläinen has to score here. If Jääskeläinen misses, it's Port Jefferson through to the final. If he makes it, it gives Peralta one more attempt to save and save his side. But first things first, Jääskeläinen also a scorer of the third goal, but now one big swing of the right boot. Stutter step, great pen. And now this is the moment. If Port Jefferson score, they are through to the final. If Peralta saves, just touching the ball and being friendly with it in moments like this, they say that it is now or never. Mind games, one hand risen. All the money is this. He steps up. He scores, and Port Jefferson are through to the final. 3-3 in normal time with a penalty kick right at the end. And they come away victorious on penalty kicks and will play the final next week against Irish Rovers. Final score here after spot kicks, 3-3. And Port Jefferson has done it on penalty kicks. And we'll play the final next week on June 11th against New York Irish Rovers. Thank you.